Hi, I'm Pat Prescott, and we are live, the 16th annual Capital Jazz Super Cruise. And we are enjoying meeting some new artists, some people I never knew before who I am now a fan of. And it's a pleasure to introduce you to the Royalty Duo.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much for being here. This is Shira Israel,
I'm Shira.
and this is Heman
Mm-hmm.
Israel.
Yes.
He has an alter ego. We'll talk about that as well in just a moment. But it's so great to meet you guys. This is a couple that does music together. I like it. You know?
Yes, we've been married for what, 7, 8 years now.
Yeah.
Been together for about 10, and we enjoy all the ups and downs and all that goes into that. So especially doing the music though.
Yeah, so both of you were individual artists in your own right, and then you merged and started doing this work together. But let's go back to how you met. I always love to hear how couples met because often it's an interesting story, and it's often two sides of the story,
Mhm.
too. So why don't you go first, Shira?
Of course, right. There's always two sides to the story. So, a friend of ours who's a mutual friend of ours, asked me to come and hear him sing. He was an artist himself, so he had a show at a club, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I ain't doing nothing, so I guess I'll go. So I show up, and I'm thinking I'm going to hear him. Of course, he calls me onto the stage. I'm like, I ain't come here for this, but I'll go up there. So I get up there, and there's this guy sitting on the speaker, and I look, and I'm like, okay. He starts singing backgrounds. I'm like, cool, that's cool. And then he ended up getting up singing. I said, okay, he sounds nice. So I ended up leaving. But right before I got out the door, he comes out and meets me. And at the time, I'm like, not really wanting to interact with, uh, how should I say this? I'm not trying to be in the dating scene at that time. So him talking to me, I'm like, I don't really know what this is about. So he ended up telling me, okay, you did a great job. You know, I could probably get you some work later on. I'm like, oh, Lord, he ain't about to get me no work. So then he says, yeah, you know, just let me get your email address. I'm like, my email address? What is this about? So I'll let him tell the rest of it, though. You want to go ahead?
So
and
far,
take
she's
over?
good so far.
Right. So
Okay.
far, she's good. So, as she said, we had a mutual friend um, that invited me also to this event he was performing at, and he's always performing around Atlanta. So I didn't go a lot to his performances, but that night I said, you know what, I'll go and support. So when I went there, like she said, I sat on the speaker and I just started singing background, just having some fun with him. And she walked in and she started singing background with me, and we harmonizing. And we just was picking up on harmonies as if we had knew each other. And I just looked at her and she wasn't paying me no attention. But I just remember, he asked her to sing "Sweet Thing," and she got a standing ovation, and it was just amazing. But what caught me was how humble she was after the standing ovation. She didn't stay around to bask in the attention. She went to the back room and she just got away from everybody, and she just got on her phone as if she didn't like all that attention, and that attracted me to her because I just saw how humble she was. So she was getting ready to leave, and I caught her, like she said, going outside, and I was just like, hey, I love what you do. I do this and that. I do a lot of shows. I would like to work with you. I was just trying to figure out how to stay connected with her. That's what it was. So,
Tell the truth.
so she was looking at me like, okay. I was like, just give me an email. She gave me the email, and so I was like, I got to figure out a way to get back in touch with her. So a guy booked me for a private event in his mansion with his wife. I said, this would be impressive if I just called her with something on the table. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I have this event. This guy, his wife is having a party. Hey, would you do, a song with me? I said, I'll pay you. And
I said, how you would do what? This money?
I'll
Oh,
pay
okay.
you. So,
The magic words.
so she said, okay. And so we met. Well, where did we meet at?
He had me audition for him. He left that part out. He said, let's meet in a Walmart parking lot.
Now, wait a
And he
second.
had
You
me
had already heard
audition.
the
He
girl
already
sing.
heard me, but he had me audition.
I just wanted to see her, I was just trying to figure out a way to see her and just to connect with her again before we went and had
do
the
the show.
performance, right? So we met, and of course, it took one time, and it was just a natural harmony,
It was.
a natural, emotion that we had. So we did the event, and everybody went crazy, and it was like we have something there in my mind. And so after the event, I walked into the car. That was it, and I was like, I got to figure out a way to step this thing up. So I remember I saw Frankie Beverly and the Isley Brothers and Kim concert, Chastain Park, Atlanta. I said, this would be perfect. So I texted her. I said, hey, do you like, what did I say? Do you like Isley Brothers?
Look, I wasn't
Frankie
trying to make
Beverly?
it easy for him at all. I'm like, sure, yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm just throwing this out. We hadn't been texting about anything but a performance.
Business.
But I said, let me just throw this out there. And I said, do you like Isley Brothers music, live music? And she was like, are you asking me out on a date? I said, yeah. She said, you could have just said that or whatever. So
That's what you call time management.
right. So I didn't know if she was seeing something. I didn't know. So I was trying to be respectful at the same time. So, you know, I knew if she would say that, then I would have something. So we went to the concert, and it was just as if we just knew each other.
I fell in love that
You
night.
fell
Yeah.
in love
To,
that
Yeah.
to
day.
Frankie Beverly's Happy Feelings, Maze.
Yeah, we talked, and we went through some of the same things personally, business wise, dealing with the industry. We had a lot of similarities, and we just connected on that, and we just talked as if, you know, we needed each other. You know, I was the missing part for her, she was the missing part for me, and we just connected from there.
Yeah. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a
Yes.
record called Marriage,
And now we're here.
which is your debut. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the debut, Marriage, we debuted, what was 2 years ago?
Yes. I
2
believe
years ago. It did well. Before it came out, it took off in Europe a week before it came out. I don't know how they got a hold on it, but it took off, and it just went from there. And we started doing interviews in Europe and across the country, different places. And you know, the song is about the ups and downs. The album is about the ups and downs of marriage, the good and the bad. You know, dealing with the kids, time management. The days where I'm irritated, she's irritated. We're trying to figure out a way to still be friends and give each other space. You know, things. So that's what the Marriage album is about.
It's all about life.
It's like,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's just
And
about
now, are
marriage.
these original songs you're doing? Are you doing covers? What's on the record?
The album is all original.
All originals.
All original. Yeah.
So it all comes from your life experience.
Yeah. But the influences of what, Isley Brothers,
Isley Brothers,
Earth-
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth and Fire. So you'll hear those influences on the album. The
Mhm.
horns, the throwback songs that you heard that you fell in love with back in the day. So
Well, you've been bringing the energy of your relationship and, you know, your partnership in life and also on stage here to the Capital Jazz Super Cruise, and in a lot of different ways. We first saw you, Heman, as Tony Tatum.
yeah.
And you were doing singing the lead, doing all of the Maurice White and Philip Bailey
Mhm.
parts for Earth, Wind, and Fire, for the Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute. And I know that's not an easy thing to do, because when you're doing Earth, Wind, and Fire in front of an audience like the Capital Jazz Super Cruise audience, as you said, they're like,
Got to come correct.
and right, and you want to respect the music. You know, they have a legacy. You don't want to take away too much from what the people remember the music by. They know every ad lib. They know the horn parts. So they know the chorus. They know everything. So you want to keep its integrity. So I try my best to keep their integrity. So it took a lot of rehearsing and remembering the ad libs and everything, because I wanted people to look at us as, wow, that sounds just like Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that was the goal.
yeah, to do an iconic group like that is really difficult. And I would say, you know, anytime that you're doing a cover
Mhm.
of anything, you know, it's always going to be people looking at you to see how close that is to
Right.
the original. And that's kind of what happened when they called you guys up too, during with Eric Roberson. They
That
were
was an
doing the jam
amazing
session,
show.
and these two come on stage singing, and then you, Miss Shira, take it over. And I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but I got to say, I know that you guys went viral with Shira doing the Busta Rhymes rap from the Chris Brown hit.
Yes,
It was,
totally unexpected.
what made you even do that, learn it?
We were just having fun. Honestly, he was supposed to learn it. And for whatever reason, he was taking forever. I said, you know what? I'm going to show him that it's not hard. All you got to do is just look at the words. And I didn't think nothing of it. So I pull out my phone and I pull out the instrumental and I start doing it for him. And he was like, that's nice. You should do it. And I was like, no, I can't do it. You're supposed to do it. See, that's what I get for being competitive.
The reason why is because I knew that song would be a game changer. We do the old school vibes and everything, but we don't do anything like that. Just like when we did it, it caught everybody off guard. So every time we do it, they don't see it coming. So I was like, we have to do this because it takes us out of the box of the norm.
Well, we want everybody to check out the Marriage album. But before we wrap up, I would love for you to just give them a little taste of what they might see if they see you live.
I got the count for you.
You gonna count me in?
I'm counting in.
All right,
Y'all
go
ready?
ahead.
Y'all ready?
We're ready.
1,
One,
2,
two.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Because I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I got to get away. But I know that I don't and I won't ever stop because you know I got to win every day.
Yo.
See, they really want to pop me.
Yo.
Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I could be a little cocky. You ain't never going to stop me. Every time I come in, then I got to set it, then I got to go in, then I got to get it, then I got to blow, and then I got to show that any little thing and anything that they be doing because it doesn't matter because I'm going to then I'm going to murder everything and anything about a boom, about a bang. I got to do a lot of things to make it clear to a couple people that I always win and then I got to get it again and again and then again. And I be doing it to death and I'm move a little fast. Somebody better call a ref and everybody know my style. They know that I'm the best when it come to doing this. And I be banging on my chest and I bang in the east and I banging in the west and I couldn't give you more and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street, you can read it in the press. Do you really want to know what's next?
What's next?
See the way we on it, we all up in the race and you know we gotta go and try to keep up with the pace and we struggling and hustling and sending it and getting it. We always gotta do it, take it to another place, gotta taste it and I gotta grab it and I gotta cut all through this traffic just to be at the top of the throne. But I know I gotta have it.
You gotta have it. The royalty duo. Thank you so much, Heman and Shira.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking
for
forward
having
to seeing your careers just shoot off in the future.
you.
Thanks
Thank
for being here with us.
Thank you.
Capital Jazz Super Cruise, you know it.